What up guys, welcome to angelasavalon's YouTube channel. I'm Angela. Subscribe, hit the like button, and do leave your feedback at the end of the video, and do watch until the end of the video. And today or tonight, whenever you are watching this video, we are going to talk about Venus in the 8th house, Synastry. Alright, wow guys, look at this lighting. It's kind of rare nowadays, but I don't know if you can see guys compared to my other videos, but your girl is trying to lose weight. So I think my face is a bit slimmer, but whatever, that's irrelevant. You guys don't care about it. You care about astrology. So in this video I'm going to talk about the Venus in the 8th house Synastry overlay. Okay, Synastry is an overlay between two people. Okay, and it's a romantic, platonic, friendship, family. I always say it can be a family dynamic, friendship, platonic, relationship, all kinds. But I do know a lot of people tend to care about romantic relationships when it comes to Synastry the most, which is natural. So just letting you guys know, it can be everything. Especially with this overlay, as you guys see, I'm gonna mention it in the beginning and as I continue the video. Why this overlay can indicate all kinds of things. Okay, so yeah. So this is Venus in the 8th house Synastry, not natal. And yeah, so let's begin. So, but I'll do one about, by the way guys, before I begin, I do, if you want me to do, comment down below if you want me to do a Venus in the 8th house natal chart placement. If you want me to do it, and I'll do it. Just let me guys know if you are interested in that, which you might. So yeah, so let's begin. So Venus in the 8th house overlay in Synastry. This is actually a really interesting, it's a very interesting, very all-consuming overlay. Okay, I'm actually experiencing it, experiencing it currently as well, if you will. So, and it's very it's something, it's an energy that I'm very familiar with. That's what I mean. And like I always say, you know, textbook astrology will teach you close to nothing as much as real life experience will. You just take my word for it, guys. So when it comes to this overlay, what you gotta understand, what you gotta realize first is that, you know how they say, because you know how they say that the house person, or even how I said it in my 8th house Synastry, when I say that the house person feels it more. Well, the thing about this Synastry, about this specific Synastry overlay aspect, is that in this case, in 8th house Synastry, when it comes to Venus in the 8th house Synastry, what I've come to realize many times is that sometimes even it can be even as far as 50% of the cases, it can be the Venus person that feels it more. Okay, I've come to realize that. But when it comes, you have to understand, because this is the kind of aspect that differs from the other. So when I say in my 8th house Synastry overlay videos, if you watch them, you know how I said that the 8th house person feels it more? Well, it is true for placements such as Sun in the 8th house. Yes, if it's Sun in the 8th house, the 8th house is gonna feel it more. Usually. If it's Sun. If it's, even if it's a Mars. But in this overlay, you know, Venus in the 8th house, Synastry, it's not only that it is all-consuming, but it's it can often indicate some sort of a forbidden love, you know, like maybe like age gap, or you know, it is the kind of overlay that can even indicate it can even indicate incest, you know. I'm not going to lie, you guys, it can, like, it, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that if you have this, like any people that participated in these kinds of affairs that I just mentioned have this overlay, but it just means it can be an indicator, you know. And when I say an indicator of something like, you know, an affair, like, you know, incest or like extreme age gap, or it's not only that it's going to be either one of those affairs, but it's the way that they are happening, and their intensity, you know. Like when it comes to this overlay, what you have to realize is that both parties involved, both people involved, might and would for the most part know that what's happening is not entirely, you know, not only that it's not socially acceptable, but it's also not, they might even know that it's morally wrong, you know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, many times, what you gotta realize about this overlay is that many times it can indicate just, a telepathic, it can just indicate some sort of a spiritual connection. And what do I mean by that? What I mean, oh, by the way, guys, excuse me for this like red line here if it's distracting. I just, year ago, just get sometimes like random red spots, but it's fine. It's a skin issue, you know. But anyway, yeah, but whatever, just ignore it. Anyways, yeah. So it's yeah. So what you gotta realize is that what do I mean by spiritual connection? Many times, what I mean is that many times it can be just there might not be an actual relationship pursued here, forbidden or not, you know what I mean? It can just indicate an attraction, like a forbidden kind. By forbidden love, I also mean like forbidden kind of attraction, you know what I'm saying? It can indicate like you both know it, you both know you can't act on it, you both necessarily not even like, you would just both know it, you know you can't act on it, and it would just go on like this until you just don't see each other anymore. And one example that it can take, it can be as intense or as in, you know, consuming, as in a scenario where these two people, right, the Venus person and the 8th house person, right, the Venus person and the house person, they're sitting across each other in a dinner table, and they're just staring at each other. This is the aspect that you want to look for if you're looking for like what can indicate intense stares. This is it. And you might think, oh, other 8th house synastry might maybe make that happen. Yeah, but not to the degree it would if it's Venus in the other person's 8th house. Okay, I'm telling you guys, Venus in the 8th house synastry, that's the aspect that indicates intense stares, constant stares, okay, constant intense stares. Like you'll be sitting, like the Venus and the house person will be sitting next to each other across the dinner table or across the room, and they'll be just staring, you know, and they will both know that something magnetic, like there's this magnetic attraction happening between them, but they will never actually disclose it or talk about it. They will never talk about it. They will never mention it, but they will both feel it and know it. It's that kind of thing, you know what I mean? It's that kind of aspect that it's like you know it, but you cannot speak about it, and you won't speak about it. You won't mention it, and you won't address it, but you know it. You know, it's actually saw this like reminds me of like a saying I saw once like on TikTok on this thing, like, you know, it's one of those like it's one of those things that like it's one of those things that like this this is kind of the attraction that can be like so forbidden that both parties will know about it, both parties and both people involved would know about it. And it's because it's so all-consuming and so forbidden, or actually forbidden, that both people automatically, internally in their head will be like, and that's exactly why they're both in their head internally gonna be like, and that's where we are not going to discuss it, and that's why that's why we're never going to talk about it, and we're not going to address it, and we just continue to stare at each other like until like the end of time, basically, kind of thing. But I'm telling you, it's like I'm telling you, it's that kind of thing, and it's like because I'm laughing now, but I swear this is not an aspect that it would make you laugh. If something, it would make you. You know what it is? It is that kind of aspect that because you know how I say in my, if you have watched my 8-house synastry videos that I made, that when I generally speak about 8-house synastry, then you know that I say that the 8th house person is the one usually that needs to heal, right? And change, and kind of, it's a kind of like a karmatic connection when the planet person comes into the life of the house person to trigger that healing that needs to take place, to trigger that change, the therapeutic change, right? But the thing is that, like I said, I've come to realize, the thing is that with this aspect, specifically with this placement, it might be the Venus person that needs to change, okay? Again, sometimes it can be the house person still, not in all cases, but sometimes it can be the Venus person that needs to change. And the thing is, the house person might have come into the life of the Venus person to trigger that change, to force that Venus person to change. Like, for example, the Venus person might have like either daddy issues or fear of abandoning, butchered, but whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, right? Daddy issues, or like it can be mommy issues, and like it has fear of like PTSD kind of thing, I'm just giving examples. It can be somewhere like around that thing, something around those things that I just mentioned. That's the Venus person, right? And the house person, the thing is that the house person might have come into the life of the Venus person to trigger the Venus person to heal and change, and maybe even be released from all these emotional, mental issues that the Venus person might have. And the thing is, all of these issues, whether it's daddy issues, mommy issues, abandoning, fear, whatever, PTSD, whatever it may be, really it has to do with attachment issues. Think about it. It has to do with attachment issues, okay? So the Venus person might have serious attachment issues when they might need to heal and recover from that, and even practice detachment. But the thing is, if they ever get really good at detaching, the Venus person, it only would and might happen after the heartbreak that they might experience, and would most likely experience, from the house person. So you see what I'm saying? It sounds like the house person came into the life of the Venus person to cause heartache to the Venus person, because because that heartache is the only way that the Venus person can heal. You see, that's the irony of it. That's the irony of this whole overlay, and even 8th house overlay is in general, personal planets in the 8th house, mostly. But You see what I'm saying, you guys? So that's what you gotta realize. It's not really like, it's not really, I want to say it's not really a good thing, because, you know, because it's not necessarily, they're not, it's not, you know, it's not, because because a good way to heal would be like going to a retreat or something, or someone brings you to a retreat. The 8th house overlay does not do it, you guys. Venus in the 8th house overlay does not do it. I'm just gonna tell you right off the bat, right now, right here in this video, it does not do it. It don't, they heal, whatever healing you'll experience if you're the Venus person, you'll only experience it once the house person breaks your heart. Again, and like I said, you don't even have to enter into a relationship in order for that to happen. I'm telling you guys, it doesn't even have to be a relationship. Like I said, and sometimes it can even indicate that you can even be in a relationship with that person. And like I said, guys, like I said, it's because I feel like because in this, most videos that I watch about 8th house synastry or even the 12th house synastry, they always mention like, oh yeah, it's because it's like they always give the example of like the married, the woman who is in love with a married man or something, or the man who is in love with a married woman or something. That's not the only like forbidden love that can happen. There's a lot of cases of forbidden love, you know. It can be something that is morally or socially unacceptable, okay? And usually it might be, you know, it might be worse than being with a married man, you know. There are affairs that are worse than that, or more unacceptable, and that's what it might indicate, okay? Venus in the 8th house synastry might indicate those kinds of things when you can't even be with a person. You know what, guys? I'm gonna give you an example. I don't know how many of you watching this are gonna relate to that, or if you do, I don't know how many of you are gonna admit it in the comments, but it can indicate something like a 40-year-old woman in love with a 19-year-old. It can indicate something like that, okay? Or it can indicate something like that, or like a 35-year-old girl, a 35-year-old woman in love with a 15-year-old boy, kind of thing, okay? It can be those kinds of things with Venus in the 8th house overlay. It can indicate some sort of a forbidden affair, a forbidden love, something you cannot pursue morally. You know it's wrong and you cannot do it, but you cannot help but, you know. Which, by the way, guys, feel free to admit that in the comments. Really, this is your safe space to admit it. If you want to admit it and you want to confess, this is your safe space. My YouTube channel is safe for that. I'm a Venus in Aquarius, baby. I'm all about unconventional affairs. So, yeah, you can just, you know, I'm here for you exposing all your secrets. You know what I mean? So, anyways, yeah. So yeah, it can really be like that, and you have to understand that but you have to understand, so as forbidden as that may be, and even if it's not forbidden, I'm talking about all kinds of like whatever happening to you, if you're in this kind of overlay, Venus in the 8th house, right? Whether you're the Venus person or the house person, I'm just mentioning all kinds of cases that might happen with this placement. But it's especially, but I think there's an element, especially if it's forbidden, it's even more hard. It can cause even more of a heartache, because you'll be like, oh, I need to get over it. It's not even possible. But I'm so heartbroken. That I cannot have this person. I'm so heartbroken that this person does not want me, or I can be with him, or we can be together. Something separates us. You know, another example, you know, if you want a fictional example of this overlay, Romeo and Juliet. Perfect Venus in the 8th house overlay. But yeah, it's really like that, and you know, the thing is, you guys, that many times it's also like not only that and again, you can be the house person experiencing the heartache. I'm just saying that many times it has been found to be the Venus person that is experiencing the heartache in this kind of overlay, okay? So either way, it can be either way, okay? I don't know which one you are, but it can be either way. So do let me know in the comments which one you are. Tell me your stories. You guys have to really understand something. Your stories help other people, okay? Because many times people might see your comments on my videos and on other videos, and it helps other people. So please share your stories, share your experience. This is your place to do it, okay? So. I'm just currently having an empty house and I'm so nervous that someone's gonna come in and disturb me making this video. But you know what? We are finishing this video anyways. Moving on. Yeah, and you have to understand, right? Like I said, whether you're the house person, the Venus person, I'm gonna use the, I'm just gonna for just the example use the Venus person in this video as the one that feels more, because that has been my experience, and other people that personal stories that I've read, people have said that they were the Venus person. It was the other way around, not the house person. It was the Venus person that felt more. So this is just what I'm gonna use. But if you're the house person, like I said, comment down below. But this is just what I'm gonna use in this video because I tend to use my own experiences, you guys. Okay, so the house person, like I said, might have come to the Venus person's life to really trigger that change that needs to happen within the Venus person. But it's so like unfortunate because not only that that healing for the Venus person causes them to experience like one of the worst heartaches they ever experienced, but also it might, depends on the situation and the people involved. It can be like. Yeah, so because the Venus person might be the one with the emotional, mental issues and like the abandon, with the attachment issues, what also can occur, and like I said, depends on the people involved in the situation. What can occur is that the Venus person might be in a situation when not only do they have to face the house person even on like a daily or weekly basis, but like not only that they might not be able to pursue them because it might be like something that they, like I said, a forbidden kind of thing, right? A forbidden affair, forbidden love, whatever you call it. So not only that, but they might be in a situation when they have to like see the house person and or face the house person on like every day or like on a weekly basis or something like that. They might be in a situation that they have no choice but to like face the house person, face the object of their desire, or the one that they love the most, which is the house person, in a scenario that they cannot do anything with it, but they have to face them, you see. And it's so heartbreaking for the Venus person because the Venus person almost might feel like it's kind of like it's torture, because it's so intense, this aspect. Like I said, this aspect, the people, when when these two are in the room, like I said, they always stare at each other because it's so intense, like the stares, that magnifying energy when they're both in the room, even when there's other people around them. And like I said, if it's not something that is forbidden, or it's not, it might be the kind of situation that the people around them might know about it, and like everybody might know that these two have something going on, whether they're together or not. But that also can be something forbidden, because I know that a lot of people probably experience this in a setting that they couldn't even be with a person, so because it is kind of like socially unacceptable, something like that, or morally unacceptable, you know. But you know, I'm curious if people actually in the comments are gonna confess that, because I'm actually would really like that, because I like those kinds of stories. But yeah, you know, it can also indicate a secret affair, because the 8th house does rule secrecy and privacy, so it can be a secret affair. You know, it might be a secret because it's also forbidden. It can be that kind of thing, you know. Like I said, people might hide it because they don't want anyone to know about it, because they know that they can't actually be together, you know. They might have a reason to hide it, to hide their affair, you know. It may be that kind of thing, you know. Unlike the 12th house, the 12th house can be secret for another reasons, although also it can be forbidden, but it can be secret for another reasons. It's yeah, but again, like I said, it might be in a situation where not only it's forbidden, but the Venus person, the two parties might have to face each other constantly. And the thing is, the Venus person is going to be the one to suffer the most, you know. From what I've seen, the Venus person might be the one who suffers the most, because the house person is gonna, in this overlay, is gonna be the one who can, you know, get over it quicker. Or, you know, the house person, it can be kind of, and you know, before, you know, actually I would, you know, I'd like to mention, because, you know, the reason why it may be the Venus person in this scenario, in this overlay, that feels more, because Venus is, you have to realize that Venus is not only like the planet of love, it's a planet of seduction. So in this case, Venus might be the one who's the seducer here, you know. Venus is the seducer and the house is the receiver, you know. Yeah, that's how way I read someone describe it, and it's something I deeply relate to. So it might be something like that, you know. Yeah, and so it might be unfortunate, because Venus is the one who brings the Venus is the one who injects it, you know, whatever, you know, injects that all-consuming love to the house person. It might be the house person that might want to shut it down, you know, because it's too intense. Or it might be like, you know, it might be like, many times what happens is that at first when they meet, or the first time, or the first years, they can be very close, and then, or the first year, you know, however long, and then they might go and then they might go their separate ways. But really, many times if they do that, it's only because the house person started rejecting the Venus person. Okay, the house person started you know, resenting, even, or just rejecting the Venus person, and the Venus person is heartbroken because they don't actually ever receive the reason why. They can only guess or assume, and like I said, they never actually talk about it. They never actually talk about anything that they feel for each other, for better or for worse. So there's a lot of mystery. That's why it's very mysterious. That's why, because the 8th house is ruled by Pluto, you know, Pluto is a very mysterious planet. That the 8th house is a very mysterious house, very mysterious, secretive, private, manipulative, you know, emotionally manipulative. You know, it might be like, yeah. So the Venus person is like heartbroken, and even though they might feel the reason why the house person rejecting them, even though they might realize, even though, wow, it was too much for the house person, you know, it consumed them too much. They felt like they were suffocating, right? The house person felt like they were suffocating, but that doesn't change the way the Venus person would feel about it and feels about it. And it's unfortunate. I'm not going to lie, guys. This is not an overlay that you might want to choose intentionally to have with someone. Yeah, and you know, it's yeah, and And because it's so intense when these two are both in the same room, it's like it's very much like out of sight, out of mind, you know. Like the Venus person might realize that they have a chance of getting over the house person if they don't actually have to face them or see them, right? And there might be a time that they don't see them, that they got away from seeing them, and then they see the house person, even if just for 5 minutes, and then boom, it starts all over again. I'm not going to like it. This is a very black and white synastry. Like it can trigger. It can be like alright, and then you see the house person, and boom, it triggers right back. Or the house person sees the Venus person, and boom, it triggers right back. All the emotions and the attachment issues and the it can get insufferable. Okay, guys, I have to be transparent. It can get insufferable for both parties, even insufferable. You know. Even the house person, even if they are the ones rejecting the Venus person, they still might find it insufferable internally. Sometimes they won't even understand why, but you just feel it's like, why do I feel it every time I see the Venus person? Or, you know, but yeah, and of course there's also the financial team, because the 8th house rules the other people's property and financial you know, taxes. So many times it can be a transactional relationship in the way that the Venus person might be the one providing for the house person in whatever shape or form, right? It can be either money, property, gifts. You know, sometimes the Venus person might use financial gains to seduce the house person, to lure them in, because they don't know what else to do to get the house person to be whatever they need them to be. Okay, it's a very addictive synastry, guys. The 8th house rules addiction. The Venus person here might be completely addicted to the 8th house. And guys, like I said, sometimes it's not very conventional. It can get even, you know, it can be in a scenario that you're so addicted to this person that you wouldn't be even able to have, even if they agreed to be with you, because it would be in a setting that you can't even have this person, because it's like secrecy. In secret, it's the only way you can really have that person. And even that, you know, because it might be so more like it can, because the 8th house rules taboo, it might be so morally unacceptable. It's gonna be like, not only that the Venus house is, and the Venus person, I mean, is completely addicted to the house person, but it's also like you can't, like the Venus person also realizes, you know, internally that they can that it's the kind of thing that they can't even have the house person, even if the house person agreed to be with them or to be theirs in whatever way they want them to be theirs, you know. Sometimes they just want the house person to be close to them, but even that, like that desire for closeness, is something that might be like unconventional, you know what I mean? It can get, you know, some people might call it creepy or something, you know, like, you know what it is, the grooming, you know, the whole grooming thing. Yeah, that cannot be in this kind of scenario. So, you know, and the thing is, the Venus person, they're not, you know, they realize it, and they might not even, like, the thing is, yes, they can be insane fantasies, but many times they aren't any, because the Venus person, you know, they might be so well aware that they won't even fantasize. Like, they might not even want to fantasize about the house person, but the thing is, they're still so addicted, and they're still so addicted and obsessed with the house person still. You know, it might not even actually have to reach their fantasies for the Venus person to still be addicted to the house person. Okay, it's a that different from the 12th house. It's a bit different than that. And whatever fantasies the Venus person might have about the house person might not even actually be sexual, because you might think, oh, the 8th house, it rules sex, it needs to be sexual. Like, no, it might not be. If something, because the 8th house rules property and other people's finance, the Venus person might have actually fantasies when they can somehow make, like, they take the house person under the wing kind of thing. It might not be sexual, because like I said, it can be, like I said, it can indicate something like unconventional, you know. It can indicate that, you know, because it's Synastry we're talking about. Okay, it's you know, it's very, and I feel like it's something that so very few astrologers mention. Maybe because they're not, I don't know, maybe because I actually experienced it, and I researched it enough, I guess, and I you know, the thing is, I also witnessed it in person, other people having 8-house Synastry. Maybe that's why I'm so keen on these things, and I know that, you know, I mentioned the things that no barely any astrologers mention, you guys. But yeah, so let me guys know if you want me to make a part 2. And yeah, I hope I did justice to this Synastry. So do let me know, guys. Do leave me your feedback down below, and hit the like button, subscribe, and also I'm trying to get to that 50 subscribers mark. And also, I have my readings are only $10, and I do them for an hour natal chart and 2 hours for Synastry. Just $10. I do live sessions and private videos, whatever you like. So do email me for a reading. $10 for a reading. My email is down below. Just email me. And yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.